everybody, what's going down? My name is Sonja Marie with Wordlife Astrology here on this beautiful God-given morning. It's June 3rd, 2024, Monday that is. Happy to see you. Listen, if you're new to my channel, thank you for showing up. Please consider liking and subscribing and commenting and sharing this information if it resonates with you. And if you are a repeat offender, a gracious supporter, thank you. I keep coming back because because you keep coming back. So thank you for being here. I appreciate you. Really quick announcements, and then we're gonna go on to the week. As I've been saying for the last couple of weeks, your girl is putting on a one-woman show called Free Bricks. It's going up on Saturday, June 8th at 3 p.m. at the Antaeus Theater in Glendale, California. Please come on through. I'd appreciate it. It's almost sold out. Not really, but there's a lot of tickets sold. People are supporting out of nowhere, like for real. Oh, let me say this and say publicly thank you to all the beautiful people. There's a handful of people that are out of state that just bought tickets and says, Sonja, give it to somebody else. I just want to make sure you get the sales. Isn't that dope? Thank y'all. I really appreciate your support. You have no idea how it makes me feel really seen and that you want a girl to win. So thank you, okay? Please show up. There's a Q&A afterwards. If you don't know too much about it, there's a link in the description box below. I don't want to take up too much time to tell you, but trust, it's gonna be dope. There's some acting, there's some poetry, there's some music, 2 new songs I'm introducing. There's a Q&A afterwards. Oh my God, I'm so ready and extremely exhausted, but I am ready. I'm ready to share with you my artistic side that I've been holding back for a little while. Another thing is I am doing a crash course to an astrology course tomorrow. It's called the Intro to Intuitive Astrology Crash Course. Information is in the description box below as well. It's only 4 Tuesdays in June. You cannot register late, okay? So you got to do your best to slide on in there like James Brown at the last minute if you need to. Tomorrow is the last day to sign up. So make sure you get on board and get off the fence if you have been, okay? I'd appreciate that. We're going to have so much fun and it's going to go extremely quickly. So put your thinking caps on and let's go. All right, let's start off with this week. Today, the moon is in Taurus. I love when the moon is in Taurus. The moon actually, this is one of the things you can learn in the course, the moon is exalted in Taurus. Why? Because the moon itself inhabits feelings and emotions and reactions. Taurus says, if you're going to react in a calm way. React in an even killed kind of way. React in a way in which you care and you're a little detached, not necessarily from the emotions, but from perspectives, right? I love when the moon is in Taurus. And again, the moon loves when it's in Taurus. It's exalted. So the bottom line is this is a good day to feel the feelings and process them as easily and as gracefully as you can, okay? So I'm going to leave it right there. But here's the deal. With the moon being in Taurus today, it's absolutely going to square Pluto in Aquarius going reverse. Today, you may feel your emotions getting a little out of whack, even though the moon in Taurus is a really good placement. You may feel it getting out of whack because this moon in Taurus squaring Pluto says, we're going to be a little stubborn in our emotions because Pluto is forcing us to change our power stance. Pluto is forcing us to question authority and superiority. Pluto is saying, I want to go in one direction because I know a thing and I know a thing and I'm trying to recollect a thing. And the moon in Taurus is like, nah, I don't feel that. First of all, I don't feel that you know too much of nothing. And this can be you and another person or you in another situation or you within yourself. You trying to become more powerful within your life, but then there's a stubborn standoff somewhere in you that says, no, I'm really used to being in this comfort zone. I'd rather sit back and be non-reactive to things that are changing around me because I don't want to get involved and thrown off my square. But I understand that. And I also want to say that things are changing regardless. So you got to find a way to go with the tide, you dig? Instead of squaring it off and finding a confrontation around it. I hope that makes sense to you. Today is a very tricky day, but you can handle it. Another thing that's happening on Monday is Mercury is going into Gemini. Mercury will be in the sign of Gemini until June 17th. Ooh-wee. So regardless of what sign you are, you will be thinking quickly. You will be thinking in a multiplicit type of way. You will be thinking in a way in which you want to do, again, a bunch of things at a time, and the ideas are coming. So many ideas, so many things you can do, so many conversations to be had, so many parties to go to. These are the thoughts. These are the reactions that you have around this Mercury being in Gemini. Mercury in Gemini is also about signing contracts, about reading the contracts, about being fair about what it is you read and about what it is that you say, about looking at different sides of a coin and different perspectives in a situation, okay? I love when Mercury is in Gemini to a certain extent because it can kind of make you feel Betty, but at the end of the day, it's doing its best to execute these ideas and these words and these thoughts so you can get them out and service people. And at the very least, just get them out to service yourself, to say, yo, this is who I am. This is what I do. This is what I think about. This is what I write about. And I have to get it out my body. You get that? Sometimes it's very good to journal during Mercury in Gemini because our thoughts and our minds can be plagued with ideas and information that no longer serves us, okay? So watch out for them old ideas coming back to haunt you, okay? As we slide into Tuesday, the first aspect is Mercury in Gemini conjuncting Jupiter in Gemini. Oh, that's a big deal. Why? Because Mercury, again, like I just explained, being in Gemini deals with these ideas, deals with contracts, deals with things that we say, things that we share, the intellect, right? The intellect is going to be valued in a big way by Jupiter because Jupiter brings all types of optimism. Jupiter brings opportunity, the Skittles planet, as I love to call it. Jupiter brings all the fun times, the blessings, you dig? So maybe, possibly there's a contract to sign that can bring you a whole bunch of opportunities. Possibly, maybe there's some things that you can say, a conversation that you will have that makes you feel more evolved, that makes you feel more involved, that allows you to grow, you understand? Or at the very least, possibly maybe you start reading again and writing again, prompting your mental so you can be keen. And I'm not a doctor, but I will say this, it might be a good time to take some ginkgo. Ginkgo biloba, look it up. It keeps the mind sharp if it's something that your body can take. Again, not prescribing it because I'm not a doctor, but in this time we need to get our minds sharp with Mercury and Gemini because literally our minds will run away from us, and it being coupled up with Jupiter is saying, if we're gonna run, baby, let's find the blessings. You won't get them blessings, so you got to be clear. Also on Tuesday, the moon in Taurus will sextile Saturn in Pisces. I like this. I like when Saturn gets its favorable aspects as a sextile. Why? Because Saturn gets a bad rap. Saturn and Pisces have been getting a bad rap, right? Because it's been forcing people to stay disciplined in their spiritual rituals and traditions, listening to their ancestors and listening to their dreams that are prompting them to work and or stay focused and or reach the top of the mountain in a very inconspicuous and sometimes unknowing type of way. That's how Pisces rolls, right? And when it's in diligent Saturn, you don't know oftentimes what you're working for. You just know that it feels good to work for a particular thing to get to an end that you know God has for you. So when the moon sextiles Saturn, there's a good feeling around that. The moon in Taurus says, yes, let's calmly execute these spiritual disciplines, these disciplines that allow you to evolve. Let's calmly get in front of our fears and our lessons that are being taught. And know when these lessons and these fears come up, it's not personal. I'm sure I said this a billion times here. If you are you are a supporter and you've come back. Nothing is personal. And with the moon sextile and Saturn, it tells you nothing's personal. You just need to work in the lane that you're in. Stay in your lane, boo-boo, and make it happen. All right? Also on Tuesday, the Sun in Gemini, come on now, is conjuncting Venus in Gemini. Again, it's a Gemini takeover this week. We got the Sun in Gemini. The moon is about to be in Gemini. It's going to be a new moon. Mercury's in Gemini. Jupiter's in Gemini. Say what? It's going down. So again, on Tuesday, the Sun in Gemini will conjunct Venus in Gemini. That's a beautiful, beautiful feeling. Oh, I just felt like a party happening. Love being like situated and thrown all over the party like glitter. Like for real. Because Gemini energy is very light and airy. Again, it's sociable and it's not attached. It has all of these different perspectives, and I love Gemini for really appreciating people and situations for what they give. Gemini have a way of like seeing things for face value. That's it. Until you prove otherwise, Gemini says, whatever I see is what I'm going to believe. You understand? So if the Sun is touching Venus, which is about love and value and worth, the Sun in Gemini is shining its light on the worth in a myriad of different ways. Shining its light on the worth when it comes to the words that you say, the communication and the conversations that you have, the contracts that are coming across your desk. There's a lot of love and money, because Venus deals with money too. So check out that money that's coming in Gemini style. What's coming through your emails, y'all? What's coming through a quick text that want to alert you about an opportunity that's coming that could make you some money, or at the very least ignite some passion. Come on, let's get passionate about life, about 3 or 4 different things, and at least one of them will pop soon. That's how I see it. Oh, and if that's not enough, with that moon being in Taurus, it's absolutely going to conjunct Uranus on that same day. I was thinking about this as I was talking about the Sun and Venus being together. I was thinking there's some kind of change that's going to happen. And I swear to y'all, I didn't see that this moon conjuncting Uranus is about change. So the feeling, the moon is promoting the change, Uranus. So if all these opportunities are coming in Gemini style, this is how we do astrology. We got to see the whole picture, you dig? So if all these opportunities are coming in Jupiter style, in a plethora of ways, the moon sitting up with Uranus is saying, yeah, I'm ready for the change. I think I can do this. You're like literally emotionally rolling up your sleeves to go, okay, I'm ready. As long as nobody pushes me, as long as nobody bosses me around and bullies me into position, I'm going to make the change, and I'm going to be unique in the way that I decide to be unique and make the change. Easy does it. Do it easy. You understand what I'm saying? I love that. Oh, I like Wednesday and Thursday coming on down the pipe. Let me tell you why. On Wednesday, the moon will be in Gemini. Yep. Now, that moon in Gemini is going to trine Pluto in Aquarius going reverse. So even though Pluto is going reverse, it's not like the close planets in a sense where Mercury going reverse and Venus going reverse. We feel it almost instantly and on a daily basis. Pluto going reverse, we feel it too. We are reviewing our power, our authority figures, our superiority, the government. We're reviewing all of that. But it's a faraway planet in which it doesn't affect us too personally. So here's a beautiful thing about the moon in Gemini trining that Pluto in Aquarius. Well, the moon in Gemini says, let's get aligned with the transformations that are happening. All these ideas, all these Gemini communications that's going down, all the socializing that we're doing, all the perspective change that's happening will be in alignment with the change that's happening in our power structure. That's a beautiful thing. Talk a good game to get some good things done. Talk a good game in order to transform your life. That's what that aspect is talking about. Ooh, and it gets better because that moon in Gemini is also going to conjunct Jupiter in Gemini. Come on now. The feel good is coming down with the optimism of Jupiter and the opportunities that want to find you too. And remember, Jupiter being in Gemini brings a plethora of opportunities, a myriad of opportunities. It also allows you to spark your spirituality in a way in which you're getting more information. So possibly maybe, then this is just to go down another lane, possibly maybe you are entering, I don't know, Buddhism or a new form of Christianity or a new church that you're going to. And based on the information that's coming through, you're sold. Based on the information that's coming through the church or through the spiritual institution, you want to talk about it. You want to be a mouthpiece for them. That's a good feel. Because it's hooked to the moon. Get it? You feel good about sharing the goodness of your new spiritual life. It gets better. It gets better. Because that moon in Gemini will also conjunct Mercury in Gemini. What? Come on now. So use that same excitement to speak joy into existence. Ooh, I like this week. Even though to a lot of Virgos and Pisces, it may seem a little wired. It may seem like there's a lot of information flying around without a grounding, okay? And I say that to Pisces and Virgo because they square Gemini energy. And Gemini energy doesn't have a grounding. It's an air sign. So there's a lot of ideas and things that are being said that may not stick, but it sparks the imagination. It sparks, more importantly, the intellect and research and ways to get things done until something is actually decided, and then the grounding comes. But this is an awesome time, and I want to shout out to the Virgos and the Pisces that don't get dismayed by the lack of grounding. This is an awesome time to just, again, throw things up on the wall to see if they stick. Possibly, maybe, Squirrel, you've been in a place in which you've been a little depressed, or in a place where you feel stubborn and you don't necessarily want to trust anybody, you know. With Gemini season and all of this information in Gemini, it's saying, yo, just play, baby. Just play. Just put the ideas out there. Just have the conversations. Just role play if you need to. I'm not trying to get in your bed, but I'm just saying, just role play, have a good time. Don't allow the information to stick so heavily until you figure out what works for you. It's okay to play. That's what that moon conjuncting Mercury says, and that's what that moon conjuncting Jupiter says on Wednesday. Get the ideas out there and play, and the opportunities will find you. They always do. On Thursday, here comes that new moon, 16 degrees in Gemini. Where does that fall in your chart? Huh? Do you know? Because if you find out, that particular house will be lit up again with this Gemini information and these opportunities that want to find you as it's having this menage a trois with Jupiter and gosh darn Mercury. Come on now. On Thursday, born those new ideas is what I said from the day before. Why? Because the moon will conjunct the sun naturally when there's a new moon, okay? So that means we feel good about our ego. The feeling, the moon and the sun is the ego. We feel good about shining our core, our ego, who we really are. The moon will also conjunct Venus on Thursday. Ooh, because Venus is in Gemini too. So there's a feeling to get together with the passion and the love and the money and the conviction of swelling from the inside out of all these new ideas and these conversations and these new connections and people that are coming around to respect and reflect who you really are. Come on, y'all. I know I'm moving fast, but let me give you another aspect for this day. That moon in Gemini will square Saturn in Pisces. Now, this is where it gets a little gnarly, and I want to be able to show you how to utilize this. Squares are normally challenging, but understand this, squares make us better. If you ever had a grandmother or a grandfather that cracked the whip, whoosh, and made you do some things that you never thought, like, why? What? Huh? It's the purpose. And after a year or 2 or 10 years later, you go, ooh, that's why I needed to do that. It made me strong in this particular area. That's Saturn's job. Saturn gets us strong. It builds our muscles. It gives us discipline and allows us to reclaim the authority within ourselves. So if the moon in Gemini is squaring that Saturn in Pisces, it's saying, yes, let's be happy about all the information that is coming in, but I may not want to do the work. I may not want to pay attention to the rules. I may not want to pay attention to grandma and grandpa whipping that whip, whoosh, whoosh, telling me what to do. I'm about to dip under the table and go out in the middle of the night. Well, you know what happens when that happens, you dig? You got to respect authority. You have to respect the rules. If you utilize the information that's coming at you and the excitement that I feel in my bones right now in regards to the information, the communication, and the people that are around you, but you put a little respect, put a little speck on it with Saturn there, you can go further, longer. You get that? Again, respect your walk. Respect the hard work and the diligence that you put within yourself. Even though we feel light and airy and we want to go out and have a good time, know that you can't break out like a schoolgirl going to private school after being in a cage for gosh darn a year. I hope somebody got that analogy. Basically, you know how private school girls possibly maybe can get a little wild after being locked in the house for such a long time. That was the analogy. But that's the feeling of it, because Gemini brings all this party, y'all. And then Saturn says, yeah, you can party, but bring it back. Respect the rules. Respect your walk. And respect, above all, Saturn and Pisces, spirit, your ancestors and your guides for showing you how to walk. And they've been showing you what to trim off. The fat to trim off, the useless people and situations and doctrines and spiritual ideologies that haven't worked in the past and not working. Again, don't flip it off, okay, with a little good time and being that schoolgirl running out in the middle of the night. Again, I hope you got that. If you have a question about that analogy, just drop it in the comments. I'll be able to address it. We're moving into Friday. Friday, the moon goes into emotional Cancer. I love it because it makes me feel good. As a Cancer, you always love when the moon goes in your particular sign because it makes you feel emotionally secure, right? So with the moon in Cancer, though, for Cancers and the rest of the signs, right, there's a homey feeling. You want to be home. Friday, probably. You want to be home. You want to eat. A really sweet, dramatic commercial can make you cry, can make you weep a little bit, but also it allows you to have the penchant for family on that day. You want to be able to connect with your family. You want to be able to check in with the children of your family, nieces and nephews. That's a good day to do that, to keep it right and tight and allow your foundation to show up for you and you show up for your foundation. Keep the roots locked, you dig? That moon in Cancer on Friday will also quincunx Pluto in Aquarius going retrograde. There's a weird kind of confusion and at the very least frustration to what it is you know you should do when it comes to your power and what it is you feel you should do. I oftentimes feel this within myself, but I will say this much. There is a need. Again, Pluto says, I want to be able to reestablish my transformation in who I want to be. But the moon in Cancer says, but we have to be sensitive to everybody else. We have to be aware of how we're changing and how it's affecting the family and the people. There's a little irritation to that. That's what quincunx means. There's a little frustration. I don't want to deal with, I don't care what my family feels. I don't care what this one feels. I want to do X, Y, and Z. I want to transform and be powerful in the way that I know I can be powerful. You can, boo-boo. You absolutely can. But that moon in Cancer is saying just be a little bit more compassionate and use your words. We're in Gemini season. Use your words to explain that it's not personal. This is just the way that I feel. This is what I want to do. This is how I want to move. This is how I'm reclaiming my power. And use some compassion when you express to people and their need to change you or your need to change. You dig? Saturday is my show, and that's a good day for me because that Cancer moon will allow me to emote and cry on stage during those dramatic moments. Yes, the moon will be in Cancer, but also the moon is going to trine Saturn. Ooh, I love that. I love that moon in Cancer is trining Saturn in Pisces. Why? Because it allows the emotions to get with the work that we've been doing. It sees the worthiness of it. Our emotional reaction is like, oh, okay, this is why I feel the way that I feel, because I've been climbing this mountain. I'm going to be easy on myself. Oh, I'm going to be easy on other people. I know that they've been working hard. I know that they are diligent. Take your time. Take your time evolving and getting better, y'all. That's what that moon trine in Saturn is saying on some level, right? Take your time doing this thing. Squirrel, you know, we've been beat up a little bit, and we're still getting beat up. This world is going crazy in its own way. And I say that lightly, but what I mean by that is that the world is changing dramatically, and it's very, very challenging to find your stance, to not get knocked off the globe while you're standing there, to really not take yourself out in all the midst of what's happening. So with that moon trine in Saturn on Saturday is saying, yo, be easy on you. The world is changing, and there's some hard work, Saturn, that we're still doing in order to chisel ourselves into place for this new world. Breathe. Breathe and put compassion and love and understanding where it's necessary, okay? Remember, it's Gemini season. It's about a good time until we have to get deep, okay? On Sunday, the moon starts off in Cancer, and then by the afternoon, 3:39 to be exact, Eastern Standard Time, the moon goes into Leo. When the moon is in Cancer, though, it will trine Neptune. I like that. So when we wake up on Sunday, there's a feeling of, I don't know, compassion and emotion and imagination. The moon being in Cancer, Neptune being in Pisces. There's a water dance Sunday morning. So maybe, again, get up slowly Sunday. Take your time. Take a good bath, you know. Spark your imagination. Do some writing, some journaling, you know. Say some prayers. Meditate. Flow into your day easily so the day can be open to whatever it wants to bring to you. Oftentimes we think we need to go out there and get that thing. I don't know why I did that. We need to go out there and get that thing, to hustle, to find it, to make our way. When the moon is trining Neptune, it's like, yo, you don't need to move too fast for nothing. Everything that's intended is going to come and find you. Trust that. We know where you are, is what your guides and your ancestors say. So utilize that ease on Sunday morning. Easy like Sunday morning. Also, on Sunday, that moon will square Mars. This is why you have to be a little careful. Because the moon being in its expression, in Cancer that is, being very emotional, wants to fight, put up the dukes with Mars and Aries. So maybe possibly we get up with that imaginative feeling, and then all of a sudden we realize on Sunday, oh, I got something to do. But the emotions are saying, no, I want to go back to bed. Mars and Aries are saying, no, we got to go. And that is a fight. There's a fight within yourself, or there's a fight within somebody in your home. There's a fight. Fight between the aggressive side of life and the passive aggressive emotional side of life. Here's the deal. When you deal with squares, just do a little bit of both, so you are satisfied within your day. You don't have to let them fight. When it's time to rest and it's time to be imaginative, take a few hours to do that. And then when it's time to get up and clean your house and wash your clothes and do what you need to do and go out and exercise, it's time to do that. There's no guilt. You gave yourself time within the day to do both, to be both aggressive and to be passive. Don't allow it to fight within you, please. Okay. And then lastly on Sunday, that moon in Leo will be opposite Pluto. Pluto's being hit a couple of times this week, shaking our foundation in some kind of way, reminding us of the strength that we have, reminding us of the power and the transformative power, to be exact, that we have within ourselves. Now, with the moon being in Leo opposite, 180 degrees away from that Pluto, again, Pluto's trying to find its fitting, and the moon and its emotional nature says, well, I'm going to do it my way. I'm going to do it in a self-centered way. I'm going to do it in a way in which I'm willful, in which I'm powerful, in which I'm creative, and you're going to hear me. The beautiful thing about oppositions is, as long as, again, you give equal billing to both and you give the respect to both sides, you can make things happen. So the bottom line is, possibly on Sunday, utilize the moon's courage, its willfulness, to show you where your power lies. Utilize that moon in Leo's personality, his outgoing personality, to bring you to new transformative information that allows you to show where your power lies, where you never thought it was before. Play with it. Trust it. Trust that new things are coming, and the power that you thought you had, you probably don't even realize there's a whole lot more to tap into, okay? Let Leo's bold way lead the way on that day. All right, y'all, let's get into picking the card for the week. One of my favorite parts of this gosh darn rundown. Oh, yeah. Let's get it going. Let's get it going. Can you stand it? Talking about transformation and power and superiority and the breakdown of things, here comes the thunderbolt. Ooh, wait till y'all hear this. The card shows a tower being burned, destroyed, blown apart. A man and a woman are leaping from it, not because they want to, but because they have no choice. In the background is a transparent, meditating figure representing the witnessing consciousness. You might be feeling a little shaky right now, or this week sometime, as if the earth is rocking beneath your feet. Your sense of security is being challenged, and the natural tendency to try to hold on to whatever you can. But this inner earthquake is both necessary and tremendously important if you allow it. You will emerge from the wreckage stronger and more available for new experiences. After the fire, the earth is replenished. After the storm, the air is clear. So watch for destruction with detachment, almost as if it were happening to somebody else. Say yes to the process by meeting it halfway. Ashe. Tell me we didn't talk about that just now. Well, I was talking and you was listening, but that's the messages that were coming through, right? Things are shaking up in the best way possible, and Pluto is doing its job, going reverse and shaking off the excess, just like this burning tower. Let's get it off of us. It serves no purpose any longer. Whatever you are not utilizing and or pouring into, get rid of it. It's out of here. Come on, y'all. And I hope to see you Saturday at my show, Free Bricks. I'd love to hug you real tight, because I'm a hugger. Also, if you want to learn astrology, sign up for that course, right? An intuitive astrology course that I am offering. And I'll see y'all next week. Have a beautiful, beautiful week, y'all. And stay light, stay airy, stay positive within yourself. You can do whatever it is you want to do. Change your life today. Right now. Okay? Adios.